Hi guys, my name is Lucy Chamberlain and I'm thrilled to be joining you to talk all things motivating a remote team. Now, we've had this opportunity, okay? During this time, we've always got to look at the opportunities, haven't you? And there is no two ways about it. The organisations that are going to win the talent war are going to be those that have nailed remote working. And it is the time to start us shifting our mindsets and diving into what is going to be inevitably the new way that we all will work eventually, or certainly half our working lives. So what's going to be fascinating today is sharing some tools and tips with you over the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so, that you can take to start bringing into your own mindset as a leader, but also then start implementing with your teams in order that you can have an even more productive, even more successful, even more motivated team moving forwards. Now, I have no idea, but that on average, a cost per employee for having a physical office is around £18,000 a year versus not having one, which is about £2,000 a year, and that even includes their coffee. So think about the savings that we potentially could make as businesses moving forward if we embrace this new way of working. But no matter what, no matter whether that's something you want to do, right now we're all at home. So let's make it work as best as possible for the company, for the leader, and the team members themselves. Because this is an anxiety-inducing time, and the more we can make this work, then the more we can take that away, or that aspect away, in terms of our working day. So this is me. I've got my name hidden there, but that's who I am. Long spiel, but basically I've been building teams and businesses my whole career, and I am now co-founder of CNC Search, which is the sister business to Altus Partners, and we are a search and recruitment company that cover everything from finance to investment professionals, legal, HR, and support staff. And obviously, please, if you are recruiting right now, we need to hear from you. So I also speak internationally. I'm involved a lot in female pipeline work in London, and I'm also part of all sorts of different business initiatives. And all of this rich experience and all my own learning on the job, as well as my studies, I bring into sharing with clients and our candidates on a regular basis. And I think at the moment that's how we can be of best value and of service, is to share with you as much as possible some of our learnings, and see even if just one of those things is useful to you, then I've done my job. So let's get into it a little. These are some of the clients that I've recently worked with. So you're in good company. So let's look at what we've got to gain. I always, when I'm making any form of adjustment in my life and or with the business, I always want to look at what I have to gain from changing and adjusting to a new normal. And this is not our normal method of working. We do have people that work part-time from home, but the majority of us have always been stationed in an office. And I don't know about you, but I'm in my 40s. This is what I was taught. It was all about FaceTime. And actually, what's brilliant about this is that suddenly, instead of being in an office environment where it's all about being seen, this is actually about what the output is. So suddenly we shift from someone being in the office, apparently doing their thing, to what's happening, what's the result, what's the accomplishment. And so productivity-wise, I think we're going to see a really big raise if we get this right. And so I've jotted down a couple of things here. So ignoring long term, if we decide to make this more part of our model as a business, what we could save just in terms of real estate, let's have a look at some of the things that it positively brings. So 400 additional hours a year minimum. Unless you've got a crazy commute, like my business partner, who happens to be my brother, who manages to do 5 hours a day in commuting time and runs between the city and Paddington. He's bonkers, but that's not what I do. it's incredible what you can use those 400 hours a year. We're always saying we don't have enough time, aren't we? It's one of our mantras, I think, especially if you're like me and you're juggling running a business or a big team. And additionally, you've got children and everything else that goes with managing life in general. To get back even 200 hours, let alone 400, just think of all the additional things that we can do. I was reading a really interesting study by McKinsey that actually not only does it impact in terms of the hours that we get back, we also psychologically improve our mental focus, our ability to complete tasks to stricter deadlines, our ability to deliver at, they think, about 17% in terms of output, additional output, and plus, by the way, because they had some members of the study that were producing crazy amounts more in terms of their outputs, 60, 70, 80%. And the thing for me is that getting my head around this shift in how we build teams is actually about future-proofing our companies too. So if we don't embrace this, we will be the dinosaurs. So embracing it, looking at all the positives, looking at how exciting this could be for our businesses and for the individual's welfare within those businesses is going to be critical to making this work during this time. So I think the starting point is pretty obvious, isn't it? But how many of us go through just expecting our teams to know what they ought to be doing? And I think that for me, that what I've really noticed is being critical is setting up very clear expectations, both on a macro and micro level, and making sure they're very, very clear and that everybody understands those and that you have touch points for checking in on what's happening in terms of meeting those expectations. Now, I've listed some of the questions that we would ask in a weekly catch-up. I don't think there's anything revolutionary there, but it's the structure that counts and adhering to the structure. As human beings, we respond best when we know what's expected of us, and there's a predictability in terms of how we're going to be held accountable for those, what questions we're going to be asked, in order that we can gear up for excelling when we're asked those questions and for outperforming what's expected of us. So get really clear with your team and don't think they know what's expected of them. Really test that they do and make sure that your objective is very, very clear. They always say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So demonstrating to them that expectation will be critical. So you can use all sorts of different systems in order that you're able to make sure that those objectives are clear and the expectations are set. And we do a morning Zoom, Microsoft Teams call. Sorry, Microsoft Teams is just amazing. But you can use Zoom or all sorts of other different tools. And I want to know that everybody's planned out their day. I want to know that everybody else knows what the plan is for the day, and that communication is super clear, and having it on a daily basis for me is critical in terms of morale and maintaining our culture, which we have invested so much in building a business that has very low staff turnover, whose employees are motivated, positive, supportive individuals, and I don't want to lose all that hard work. So those check-in points are critical. So we've moved away from WhatsApp. Now, the reason is that having something pinging up on your phone constantly is really distracting. Whereas for us, Microsoft Teams means that people can still chat to one another, but it's PC-based. It means that people can dip in and dip out of it as is necessary. And we found that that's really helped with focus and with people's productivity, not being constantly interrupted by the stream of consciousness that can happen with WhatsApp. I don't know whether you found that those messaging systems can be a distractor too, but my top tip would be to move away from anything like WhatsApp. The flexible approach. So this is again all part of embracing what will be the new normal for any thriving business in the future. And employees will demand it more and more and more because the shift in expectation around how people should be working or enabled to work has changed. And I'm trying as much as you are to really get my head around the fact that actually it's not about even remotely having everybody sat at their desks from 9 to 5:30, or as I found myself yesterday, sort of, I was pinned to my desk from 8 a.m. in the morning till God knows what time in the evening. It's about flexibility. It's about output. It's shifting that mindset from face time to output. And actually what I think is incredible is the amount of focus that's enabled by remote working. You don't have all of those constant distractions, constant interruptions, other people's stuff that's being downloaded constantly to other members of the team, or somebody that loves to chat about X or Y, and the focus means that this output is going to rise. But the flexibility that's afforded to the individuals within your team will be critical to them feeling that they can make this work within their life. And that, of course, as we know from all of the data, again, improves productivity, morale, longevity with the company that they're working for, and mental health, much less sick days, all of those things that you'll suddenly notice changing for the better. So, I mean, I've popped this in, but this is about keeping your morale up, keeping a sense of, especially at the moment when things are really, really tough and there's a lot of anxiety and constant bombardment of messaging that is worrying and scary. And so having something that brings people together, for me right now, that's going to lift the mood, bring them together as a team, make them have a giggle, is so key, again, to maintaining that sense of optimism. You have to have a team that feels optimistic even in the face of crisis, because that sense of being able to meet their week, meet their days with a sense of optimism will be critical to their motivation levels. And little things like this, I mean, this is a daft one, but perhaps having a weekly quiz all together, whether it's on Zoom or Teams or however it might be, doing something that lifts the mood is going to be really, really key for you right now. So the other thing that can sometimes get left behind is learning during this time. Now, what better time when you've just gained all those hours where you're not commuting, you don't have all the distractions, what better time than now to improve your skills, to learn as a leader, to help your teams learn through reading, watching, things like this. Reading a book, listening to a podcast, whatever, as long as it's work orientated, but it's going to help that person raise their skill level and come out of this period actually a richer employee in terms of their skill set. Really, really focus as an organization on enhancing that. And actually, we did something this week where everyone watched something, and in our catch up, everyone shared one of their learnings. And again, that fosters a growth mindset collectively. It also creates a sense of achievement, and it means we've got an even better team that can deliver even better results for our clients and candidates. Win-win. Okay, so let's look at shifting our mindsets from this focus on activity to accomplishments. So what can sometimes happen, I've seen it a lot this last week when I've been talking to clients, is a sense of a loss of control and a fear that everybody's at home with their feet up and a cup of tea and currently enjoying the sunshine. And so the driver becomes lots of email messaging, which, by the way, is not good communication at all. And on top of that, this focus on doing. And now I'm not saying that you don't want your teams to be productive. This is different. So activity for activity's sake, so that your employees feel that you're satisfied that they're doing their work, is not what you want. And you've got to let go of that, because it's not going to help you achieve the results that you so need at this time. So I want you to really try and get away from activity and into the mindset of what are people accomplishing. So much more empowering and motivating. So I've given you a list here that you can utilize to measure accomplishments. And there are so many here, aren't there? And I think that if you are sharing, as we talked about at the beginning of this video, with your team, what accomplishments they are expected to be working towards, or that you really want to hear about, or that as a team you'd love them to focus on, then these are the transformational aspects of success for your company. So we can share this with you, the whole presentation, so you can drop me a line and I can share this with you, just if it's useful. So how to improve these accomplishment levels. So you've set your boundaries, you've shared with people how it's going to work, you're bringing people together through your communication tools, and you let them know exactly what's expected of them. And now you really want to invite employee participation. Now, what I mean by that is the Harvard study that I read about home working said that actually it frees up a lot of creative space for people. Because they're more focused, because there's less distractions, because they haven't had their commute, because they're normally able to exercise more easily, then the creative part of our brain gets freed. And this is the time to invite in ideas and sharing of new ways to do things, of improvements to systems, an idea for a marketing opportunity for clients, whatever it might be. Get your people feeling that they're participating in the accomplishments that they're working towards, that they are able to help shape the success of the companies that they're working for. And you can do that for lots of different forums. You can bring together small groups on a Zoom and workshop perhaps a particular question or a particular challenge the business is facing, and get them to present back. You can do it in big groups, you can do it on an individual basis, but I really encourage you to look at how you're engaging your teams creatively during this time. And celebrating success. I mean, this is, if you are going to have a team which is focused towards accomplishment and you've taken those steps that we've talked about so far, the next step is making sure that those are highlighted and celebrated. It's no secret that celebrating success within a business is critical for staff retention. And actually, most people prioritize recognition over remuneration. So recognize the successes, share them in your meetings, get everyone together on a Friday with a glass of wine on Zoom or a cup of tea, whatever anyone fancies as a celebratory drink, and share these successes. Make sure people are aware of what's going on, and this will generate foster a new culture within your organizations that is going to allow them to thrive during this time, because everyone's talking about just surviving at the moment. We actually want to look at ways in which we can thrive, and embracing these aspects and looking for the richer opportunities during this time is going to be what separates the companies that do okay or fail to the companies that are going to come out of this richer, better, stronger, more together, and with a greater range of skills and an ability to future-proof our companies, which is what we all want, right? So visual scoreboards, visual stuff is fantastic. So instead of sending wordy emails about, what you need everyone to do today and what you're looking for, send a visual. Keep it simple. There are so many visual scorecards online, loads, and because you're all going to be tuning in from totally different businesses, I would just encourage you to go online, look at visual scoreboards, look at how they could work for the business. They are brilliant at creating an increased sense of focus, driving productivity, and also that peer-to-peer healthy competition, which raises results, but in a healthy way, will also be really key to that thriving, not surviving piece. Technology. I mean, come on, I'm not about to enlighten you here, am I? That embracing technology right now is everything. And it doesn't matter if you're behind the times. And now's the time when you can start looking at new ways of using tech to, again, future-proof the business, but also to enable the possibility for a different way of working. And we've listed some of our favorites. For me, Microsoft Teams is just absolutely incredible. And, you know, I'm not exactly the most tech-savvy person. I think my brother would probably describe me as the opposite, actually. But if I can do it, everyone can do it. So if I can get into this whole new way of working, so can you. And embracing technology is absolutely part of that. So don't forget, you are going to have people with different levels of experience of using technology, and some people are going to be scared of using it, some people are going to think it's great. So offer mini tutorials. So we've been, because we have different levels within the business of people that are comfortable and not, we've done a check-in point with every single person, asking them specifically what they find most challenging about our new way of working, what they need help with, and making sure that we address those gaps in training. Get personal. Okay, so if you want a team that feels like they're still part of this company, look at your values, look at what foundations you were set up on the basis of, look at what's at the core of your company, and then reflect those back through into how you're dealing with the people in your teams. Because what you don't want is everyone to have to become like a reporting machine, reporting in on what they've done. You want people to still feel that they are part of the business that they've joined. So get personal, make meetings matter, get away from email, make it more connected, and give people a sense that who they are as individuals really matters to the organization. How you do that is up to you. It can be sharing at the beginning of just a meeting, like, how are you doing? What's going on for you? How the kids? It can be anything, but just any layer where you just take off that sense of it just being about reporting and into the individual a little more is great. And I know that for us, part of encouraging that might be us all, because we're really trying to foster a growth mindset at the moment in the business, is looking at how people are using this time for self-development. How's that impacting both on their professional and their business life, business and personal life, and getting a bit of a deeper dive into what's going on for people is critical. Trust. So I think where we go wrong and where we set ourselves up for failure is when we lose the trust, where we don't give it. So trust is assumed by your team. They assume you're going to trust them, and you have to back that up, because the minute they feel you're not trusting that they are doing the right thing, then everything is lost. It's like a house of cards, isn't it? That foundation of trust is critical. So work from the basis that the people that are working with you are doing the very best they can, because you are delivering them the tools, the structure, the focus, the sense of collective achievement, and you are bring them together. The rest, focus on their achievements and let everything else go. And if you are feeling that lack of trust, then actually there's something going on for us as a leader that needs addressing. And that's about self-development, isn't it? It's seeing what's going on for you. Whenever I've got something that's repeating, whether it be a thought or a doubt or something, that I know that's my big signal that I need to do some work on myself, and it's a great signpost. So pay attention to anything that's fear-based or frustration-based, and look at what you can address as a leader first before making any internal changes. So I'm going to move my head. This is how you can get in touch with me. We can share the presentation. I've got loads of extra tools and tips and hints, and we're going to be sharing these on a regular basis, because right now this is the best way we can be of service to our clients. I really hope that something's resonated with you here, and even if you've just taken away one thing, then I'm going to be delighted. And feedback is great at the moment. Let's stay connected. So drop me a line, let me know what did resonate with you, what you felt that you gained from watching the video, and requests. So I do requests. I'm happy to help wherever I can. So if you've got a need in the business that you want me to put something together for, I've got time right now. So I can deliver that for you. So just do let me know. And of course, please do be kind. If you are recruiting, there isn't an area we don't really have a specialism in. So reach out to us because we really need that partnership with you at the moment. And if you have a need, we would be so grateful to hear from you. Have a fantastic day.